What is going on, YouTube? Lamont on the run. Where are you guys at? Nobody's here. Is it because it's 97 degrees outside? Well, I don't have a choice. I'm homeless. So anyways, guys, this is old news according to how we ingest news. But they're all dead. Yeah, big surprise, big shocker, huh? So the four poor souls, I'll get to the other jerk in a little bit here, tragically lost their lives, probably only but a mere 2 hours at the most, as they descended in that tin can that douchebag Stockton Rush called a submersible. Yeah, so they found the wreckage, and just like I was figuring, it imploded. Now, when I was watching TV, becoming an expert like all of us have over the last 3 or 4 days, I was listening to a guy who claimed that it would be impossible for that submersible to implode. But once it started coming out about all the corners cut by Stockton Rush in terms of making the vehicle safe for use, it's not surprising at all that that thing imploded and crumpled like a tin can. So I have a question. I have several questions during this video. I feel sorry for the 4 guys in that contraption, except for Stockton Rush. As far as I'm concerned, if that man had skipped the voyage and was still alive, I promise you he would be charged with negligent homicide and would be doing prison time. So some new information is coming out slowly but surely, and the new information goes as follows. Apparently, the kid of the Pakistani billionaire Sulaiman Dawood, or is it Sulaiman? I apologize if I mispronounced his name wrong, was absolutely terrified to go on that thing, according to his aunt. The only reason why he went was, I guess, to appease his dad. It was Father's Day, and it would be, I guess, a bonding experience. That's my guess. So this kid, 19-year-old kid, most 19-year-olds, not saying they're stupid, but they're ignorant to the world and a lot of those things, most of them anyways. And this kid, terrified, nervous, telling his family members, I don't like this, I don't like this. He was the only smart one aboard, I guess, because the rest of the guys didn't really seem to value their lives too much. Not so much. And so it looks like, according to, various times on how long it takes the submarine to, go down into the ocean, it looks like people are guessing that they were probably around 9 to 10,000 feet down before the craft imploded. That's just a guess. And the wreckage is still down there. We don't know. I guess they're gonna start collecting the wreckage slowly but surely, and then they'll do whatever it is that they do in terms of seeing where the possible failure came from. You might want to look into the carbon fiber thing. Yeah, as soon as I heard those 2 words, carbon fiber, I was out of this piece of crap thing being safe at all for anybody to ride in those, in that kind of depth. And so we don't know what their final moments were. We have absolutely no clue, because of course, they were all recording on their phones, and whatever happened will forever be lost in the internal memory of those phones, of those cameras. We'll never recover them. I'm also wondering if their bodies will ever be recovered. Now, they've already been in the ocean dead for 5 days, and that kind of depth with that crushing weight, around 6,000 pounds per square inch. Imagine a Tesla surrounding every square inch of anything down in those depths in the ocean. I don't believe their bodies were like squished like a pancake. They were probably crushed. So they probably died of just, I guess you would call just crushing injuries. Me personally, I don't, when I say this, I'm talking about literal microseconds. I'm not talking about minutes. I don't think personally they died right away. Again, when I'm saying that, I'm not saying they drowned. I'm saying, when people want to snap your finger and say, okay, they're dead. I don't think that happened. I think that those poor souls, except for Stockton Rush, I think that their bodies, their minds, within the last fleeting moments of life, knew what happened. They seen the water just coming in, surrounding them. They felt that weight. They felt that immense pressure for even but a fleeting moment, maybe a half a second, maybe a second. I'm thinking 2 seconds. I'm thinking 2 seconds, and then that's it. I think that their brains blacked out, and that's it. I think they were alive for 2 seconds, experiencing that horror, something that we cannot ever imagine. How do you imagine the crushing weight, the sound, the feeling, the intense darkness, the intense fear of those final seconds that everybody on board that craft experienced before their death? Quite horrible, if I do say so myself. Now, again, I will say that I guess if they had to die, I would prefer them go out that way versus them suffering, being trapped on the bottom of the sea, running out of oxygen, slowly going insane, suffering from hypothermia, all of that. Man, all of the nonsense that this Stockton Rush clown, all of the nonsense that he used in terms of parts that he used to make this craft, stupid things that he said, him talking about him not wanting to hire, quote, 50-year-old white guys, unquote. Well, listen, I'm not a 50-year-old white guy, but I speak for all 50-year-old white guys when I say thanks, but no thanks. I'm pretty sure all 50-year-old white guys in the world are thankful that you did not hire them, because they would have been a part of this absolute disaster. This is the absolute worst thing that I've seen in the news in quite some time. And I know there's been airplane crashes and stuff like that, but I'm just saying the ineptitude, the carelessness for life that this clown did when building this thing. I was watching James Cameron, because everyone's going to want to talk to James Cameron and interview him about this, and he went down in a submersible similar to that one, except for it was actually built properly. I want to say he went there 2012 or something like that, and he had said in an interview, because he was friends with the French guy that died, and he said that he never liked that craft, and he always felt that because of how it was made, basically saying that the materials and the stuff that was made should have been made, I guess it was the same way that you make a flying craft, like a plane or something. This is just stuff that I remembered. I could be wrong, but he basically said he never liked that craft. Too bad he didn't warn his friend, maybe not to go in there. Maybe he did. Maybe he told that dude, hey man, if I were you, I'd stay away from that thing as far as I can, as far as you can, but he didn't do it. And each time the Titan was going down, because that was only the 4th voyage, so each time it was going down, it was structurally getting weaker and weaker and weaker, until it finally suffered what the media is coining the term catastrophic failure. Talk about an understatement. Catastrophic failure. Wow. And here's another thing that we don't know. We don't know if it happened quickly, or we don't know if it started leaking, because that craft, it's supposed to have some kind of sensors that tells the operator if it's structurally having some problems with the integrity of the hull. So who knows? They could have known like 10 seconds before it happened that, I mean, can you imagine just water just starts rushing in or something? We don't know. I guess when they get the pieces, I guess they're gonna be able to somehow reconstruct what possibly happened. And even then, if they did, I mean, do we really know? Do we really know what happened to that thing? Not at all. In an interview, the Stockton Rush clown, he had stated, and tell me if I'm wrong. I was listening to this like as white noise as I was doing other stuff. He said that as the craft goes down, that the window changes color because of the pressure that it's exerted on it. Really, the window changes color because of the pressure from the outside exerting onto that window. And I don't know if this is true or not, because it's really hard to do any kind of fact checking because this is such a new story. Who knows? But somebody wrote in an article, again, I don't know if this is true or not, that the window is actually designed only to go up to a certain PSI before it fails, and the craft had reached over that on all 4 of the voyages that it went on. Quite interesting. If I can bring any of those guys back, I'd bring back the kid, of course, because he didn't even want to freaking go on that damn thing, in that death trap. Did you guys see anywhere on YouTube that the idiot in that crap? This thing is so ridiculously built, and it was built cheap. Can you imagine? There's no seats on it. You're sitting on the floor. How uncomfortable is that? You're sitting on the floor in a tin can with a camper toilet in the back, covered by a curtain, being controlled by a $30 10-year-old video game controller, right? Wow. Unbelievable. Oh, and the camping lights. This guy gets the internal lighting system, if that's what you even want to call it. And I'm using fancy words right here. He got it from Camping World. I'm not sure. I'm guessing that the Hamish Harding, the British guy, was also a billionaire. They're saying he was in newer reports. So I guess there was 2 billionaires on there. So listen, other than the kid, because the kid is not an adult yet, I'm sure he's intelligent in his own way. But you got 2 guys who I would believe are pretty intelligent because they have a lot of money. So they're probably smart guys. But some people, they're book smart, but just common sense dumb. Common sense dumb. And to throw your life, to be so rich and so bored. Are you that bored, sir? Are you so bored in your billionaire lifestyle? You've done everything. You've jumped off of everything. You went into outer space. Are you that bored? Really? And then you have to take your kid with you. Gotta take your kid with you, yeah. Wow, bad parenting. But that's an understatement. That's a total understatement. Cannot believe all of the dumb things that are still coming out about this whole charade, and how easily everything could have been prevented. This thing wasn't even sanctioned by the governing body of Oceanautics, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I don't know if this Stockton Rush moron, if he was just greedy and was trying to make as much money as he can by charging people to $250,000 a person to go down there, or he really and truly had a sick love obsession with the Titanic and what happened and taking people down there. You know what? I'm going to call it a vanity project. I think this guy was a narcissist, and I think that that guy that he fired, by the way, he fired a man that used to work for him, a 50-year-old white guy, fired him because this 50-year-old white guy, well, I don't know, he's one of those 50-year-old white guys that has experience and was telling him repeatedly over and over that this thing was not safe and that he could not get behind this project because of all the safety concerns that were surrounding it. And he gets fired. Well, you know, I tell you this, it's got to be a weird feeling being that guy, because he told this moron, he said this thing is a piece of crap, and he was fired for it. Wow. I'll tell you what, this 50-year-old white guy thing is hilarious to me. When I go on a plane, right? I haven't taken a plane ride in a long time. I haven't even been on a plane many times, but I am going to be taking a flight, and I'm going to start flying very soon, more times than before. I don't care personally what race you are when it comes to experience and stuff like this, but I want a 50-year-old guy behind the wheel, behind the whatever you're using to control whatever thing that you're flying or piloting. I want a guy that has a receding hairline. I want some fine lines around the eyes. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see a 25-year-old nerd that, oh, he's really into it. You know what? I'm not really into 25-year-old white dudes who really like something. I'm into experience. That's what I like. I like experience. I like people with experience. I don't like people that just have a passion and don't know what the hell they're doing. Absolute insanity. And 4 people had to lose their lives because of the brain-dead actions of a selfish individual in one Stockton rush. I could go on and on about this for probably an hour, but I can't believe I've talked this long about it. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Rest in peace to everybody on board except Stockton Rush. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not at all saying that he deserved what happened, but this guy was a moron, and it was like he was asking for this to happen, and it did. And he dared. It's like he was daring fate, and it dared him back. A young woman was found brutally murdered in this very parking lot where I'm at right now, and her murder went unsolved for over 20 years until the person that was responsible was finally brought to justice and convicted. Lamont on the run, Council Bluffs. It's hot out here, guys. I'm hitting the road. I gotta go 50 miles south. There's a story. I don't know when it's gonna be a Lamont at large, because I'm like really ahead now, but I haven't been putting together videos, so I gotta take a break for maybe a week. But a very unusual story takes place. We're gonna go over there, we're gonna ask some questions, we're gonna figure it out. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Be safe, peace out.